Hey guys, Dahmer MTG here. Basically, this is the first video I've done for the channel. The other 4 videos I have up, the first 4, were actually on my on my main channel, Dahmer's Cool Stuff. You can check that channel out right here. That's all video game related type of stuff. I decided to separate the channels because this is going to be radically different than what the Dahmer Cool Stuff channel is going to be as of April 2015. This is my post-Carnage report for Friday Night Magic, Friday the 13th, March 2015. It was a week before. This is a week before pre-release, so basically everybody was wanting to draft more so than usual. The local game store I go to, which is Scott's Collectibles in Kannapolis, North Carolina, usually offers 2 options. If you can get enough players to do a draft, he'll do a draft and standard at the same time. Usually that doesn't happen. It's usually standard. I like drafting. I don't know why. I'm weird like that. But there was a lot more players that wanted to draft this week. I guess because pre-release is next week and they wanted to kind of, sort of get a warm-up, so to speak. So I went 2-1 on the draft. I felt my deck was very competent. The only game I lost was because of mana screw, and I had a perfect amount of mana. I just couldn't draw the right type of mana that I needed. First game was with a new player, and basically was teaching him how to play the game, which is okay by me. If you, as a couple people left on Facebook comments while I was, messaging and whatnot about the tournament, about Friday Night Magic, if you can't teach another player the game, then get the f*** out. And I remember being a new player and being shown the ropes as well, so no issue there. Second game, however, I lost 1-2, and mainly because of mana. Not getting the right mana. I had a good enough mana, I just didn't have the right mana. And I'll explain a little bit later as we go through the deck that I the cards that I drafted and the deck that I wound up playing with. And then the third game I won 2-0 as well. So that was great. It was an awesome, fun time, and I'm really confident about pre-release next week. I'm actually doing 2 events, unless I do 3 of them. I'll have enough money to do 3 events if I so choose. So right now, next part of this video is going to be me going through the deck. First pack I opened, Mardu Ascendancy. I'm going to try this in my new deck that I have, my Mardu deck that I've been running in Standard. But basically, this is from what I can see, a bomb in Limited. If you can't get rid of it, I basically won a lot of games because just overwhelming creature board control is a thing. Yeah, words, sentences, I do them. I also got 2 Harsh Sustenances, and this was a nice bit of creature removal, which kind of flowed well with the Mardu Ascendancy. Do X damage to target creature or player and gain X life, depending on how many creatures you have. Arrow Storm never came in, but it would have been a nice bit of direct damage for the bigger creatures or the bombs. A Mardu Runemark, Temur Battle Rage, Trumpet Blast, Dragon Grip, Swift Kick, Leaping Master, and that's our red. Basically, most of the red cards that I had pump creatures up or gave creatures abilities. I always draft the same way. I'm just punching you in the face as fast and as hard as I can. On the black, we have Kheru Bloodsucker, which never came out, Unyielding Krumar, Mardu Shadowspear, Murderous Cut for good creature removal and limited, Soulflayer, who never came out. This was basically the splash of black in my draft, but the 3 cards that came out throughout the whole 3 matches we played were Krumar, Shadowspear, and the Murderous Cut. Murderous Cut coming out almost every game. And then the white. Smite the Monstrous, which never came out. Jeskai Student, which actually was pretty good. It's like a poor man's version of Seeker of the Way, especially in Limited. Firehoof Cavalry, which is probably the MVP for me of the game. Pressure Point, mainly used for card draw ability, but also in Limited, you can, if they only have 1 creature on the board, well, you can get a free shots in with that one. Honor's Reward. Gain 4 life, bolster 2. I used it more for the bolstering of 2, but the gain of life is not that bad, especially in limited. Mardu Woe-Reaper, every time I come across this card in limited, I'm always drafting him. He's got such a great ability for whenever he comes into play under your control, you can exile a creature from a graveyard. If you do, gain a life. Not your graveyard, a graveyard. Ainok Bond-Kin, and End Hostilities, which never came out, and sadly, the game I lost, if it had come out, I probably would have won. And that was all the spells. Now the mana base. I was actually able to draft a couple good mana fixers with the Bloodfell Caves, the Scoured Barrens, the Wind-scarred Crag, and another Bloodfell Caves. For mana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plains, 5 mountains, and then 3 swamp. Kept it kind of simple. Cards I didn't draft, however, that I drafted that I didn't put in the deck. Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. I joked with the table, because that's how this environment was, that I completed my playset of Dragon Throne of Tarkir. Brave the Sands. Shatter. Kheru Dreadmaw. Act of Treason. Sultai Scavenger. Molting Snakeskin. Sultai Emissary. Hooded Assassin. Mardu Banner. Didn't play it because I had enough mana fixing. Alesha Vangaurd, and the only 3 cards that were not my color in my color range that I was drafting. First card I drafted was Mardu Ascendancy, and I was drafting Mardu as much as I could. I own an Ambush Protic, a Blossoming Sands, and a Glacial Stalker. So not bad, only having to draft 3 cards that were not my color. As always, the description for the cards I didn't draft and for the cards I did draft are going to be in the description down below. Also, leave a comment, tell me how bad I did. Tell me if you would have done anything different, and if you would have done anything different, why would you have done something different? And don't forget to always like, comment, subscribe. This is Dahmer MTG, and as I say on my main channel, as always, do good gaming.